Hello there and welcome back. Today we talk about this very fun small system that I put together. So as I said before, there's just few certainty in life. One is death. The other one is your system will never ever be the last one or the definitive one. So every month I find something and I say, oh, this is the final system for that. And no, it's never gonna happen. So I actually have two systems right now, actually three, because, keep collecting stuff, it's what we do. And one now, it's more on the glitchy side, the ambient, minimal, I love it, and I will talk about that later on. And this one, I had a few modules that I really want to work with together, but I wanted to have like the right enclosure to play with, and I think that sometimes a small system is the best way to enjoy a certain workflow. So what I did, I bought this ALM case that is a 52 HP, and I put together those things that I think were meant to be together, all controlled by the Oxi. So before going on and tell you what's happening, the few way you can support this guy, me. So you can buy from the affiliate link down below. I get a tiny percentage, and for you it's gonna be exactly the same. Great way to support. You can become a Patreon, another great way to support. In Patreon I do more in-depth, do exclusive content, and I will use what you hear now to create a full track. So if you're interested to see what is my process, boom, that's the best way. Also, you can do one-on-one lesson with me if you want. And the third way is just subscribe, share this content, subscribe to Instagram, whatever. Super simple, super easy. And also go listen to my new album that it's out, Un anno di pioggia. And yeah, that's another great way. Support my artist side. Okay, that said, let's go back to what you are hearing. So I'm obsessed with dub techno music, and sometimes I always wonder how you get that cool stabs, and I got it finally. I got to a point where I have that variation on stabs, very simple but very interesting. And what's happening is I'm using the polycinematic for that, sequenced by Oxi, but there's the sidechain happening thanks to the Kickain, and there's this guy here, the Mimetic Digitalis, that I hope you will see, that actually create modulation to the filter, and thus it create this ever-changing filter movement that is really fundamental for this kind of music. So let's go first, what is the sense of this thing? Let's put some other music, otherwise you'll get bored to death. The idea is having something simple. It started by saying I'm gonna do something that is gonna be a live performance tool. Yes, it can be used as a live performance, but I think it's very suitable also for recording parts and getting super cool idea. So the fundamental part is you have three voices. One is the Kickain from Knobula. Then you have the polycinematic that will cover all the different stabs, but also, since it's an 8-voice polyphonic synth, can do a lot of stuff. And then the surface. The surface is a physical modeling voice from Qubit. that can do a lot of stuff. And then I decided to send the surface into his qubit brother or sister, so Aurora. That is a spectral reverb that created these interesting tunes that it's very interesting to work with together, and also great with Mimetic Digitalis. The polycinematic goes into this wild effect called Imitor Versio. That is a 12-tap delay, so you have 12 tap no matter what, but it's pretty great for that thing. Polycinematic as a reverb, so it's great. And it's there, it's that kind of sound that I love. Then, these two guys from the out, from the qubit and the Imitor Versio, it goes into the Befaco mixer. I'm using just two channel. I can actually use an aux with auxiliary with some other external thing if I want. And from here, I'm going inside the Kickain. Why? Because the Kickain has the sidechain. So, as you can hear now, the volume of the Kickain is low, but there's a sidechain going on. If I put it to the maximum, and I think it's such a cool effect having in handy like that. And then the out of the Kickain goes inside the data bender, where I can add interesting texture to the sound. Let's hear. I should clock it, actually. Why it's not clocked? Let's clock it. I'll also show you how I'm clocking things. Oh no, it is clocked. What am I saying here? There it is. Was the wrong channel. And these allow me to have a performative machine. But sorry, what's the other cool things that happen here? I forgot to mention this. Then the data bender goes inside the stream on AA1 and then directly into my computer. There's nothing else happening. Then the other module I didn't talk, the Oxi pipe. Basically, the Oxi pipe is a super cool thing because with the one cable I go outside my Oxi and I have 8 CV and 8 gate that I can configure here. So a lot of things it can do. LFOs, it can do ADSR. So this basically is like having a super tool which can be used for many, many things. And then there's the Mimetic Digitalis. Mimetic Digitalis is 4 output, and each output has 16 steps that you can randomize, and mostly I do that, and create CV. So that can, for example, here, this without the Mimetic is gonna be like this. Always same. Instead I put the Mimetic and it has life. So the other cool things that I decided to do is like I'm putting all the output of the Mimetic Digitalis into the Divkid Mute. And that's because I can decide at that point if I want to use the modulation. For example, this is channel 4 and it's in 4 here. I can turn it off. So the filters stay like that. I can push in the left and just, if you push left, it's as long as you push it, it works. Or I can turn it on. And I think this is a super cool way to create modulation, to create a variation in your music. Also, so basically this is the system. On the Oxi, let's also take care of that. What I have, Oxi is a 4-track sequencer. Yes, you have 4 sequencer. And I have on track 1 the kick. Track 2, I use it as a I use it for polycinematic for mono track, and I can also play on top. On track 4 I have chords, so I have all the stabs happening, and it's just one single chord. And on track 3 I'm sequencing the Aurora, the surface. So basically I have here the CV going out, the gate going out, so I can pack everything and then just connect with this. on Oxi, to select that, you press Shift and CV gate here, and you have all the CV possibilities. I'm using 4 of these gate here, from track 6 to 5 to 8 as a clock, so I can send the clock wherever I want. And that's it. Then, of course, if you want to know more about the Oxi, you just go check my other video. One interesting thing that make me really start loving the Kickain is like a few things. If you use it basically without the CV, I think you don't really get the best out of the module, because it really reacts well to pitch modulation. And the other cool thing is, like, if you start sending modulation to that with the Mimetic Digitalis, now I have the channel 1 going inside this, that is the, I don't remember the name, the accent. So here what happened? Simple tune, but then you hear that boom, boom. So it had something, some sparkle. Then I have channel 2. Let's hear what happened if I put channel 2 in the decay. So I can use these to make changes if I want. And I can always shred with pressing load and shred. I can change all the value of the CV, and then I can reload if I like it, a previous stage. And I like to start hearing what happened if you start modulate other part of your system. For example, now I have the data bender mix that is modulated there, and you feel there's some texture happening, something there, and I feel that what you're hearing now, it's pretty dope. Like, you have all the basic element to create a track. The cool things with Surface is, like, it can be a melodic part, but if I change the model, I can get into rhythmic pattern. And then with the Aurora I can go very and then variation can happen in many ways. You can start changing all of these and see what happens. So, for example, let's see if we start modulating the surface. You can modulate the model, the choke and strike. Pretty cool. Cool. And you can go very weird, changing, of course, what happened in the Oxi. And use the sequencer here to play notes on top. Select channel 2, preview. Let's put velocity to maximum. it's chromatic. Let's set a minor scale, so I'm safe. So this is pretty awesome because I can use the polycinematic as a keyboard. I can add a fifth. Isn't it pretty epic? I can go back and this was 12 step, now let's push back 16. And then I can go back on a 4 on the floor. Change the decay, add some sparkle to that and some reverb. Add some data bender and play some notes. And yeah, that's basically it. You can start playing, and my idea for this system is just like create a track and then record a single part. What's gonna happen in I'll do this in my Patreon. From now I will reload the pattern from scratch, and then I will record. What I would do, I will start recording first a full track performance to give me a template, and then all the single part to allow me to do an arrangement later on and create something more complex. But this is it about the video. So what was the goal of the video? I don't know. As usual, these, if you're lucky and you have a lot of modules and stuff, I would say that invest in a small case to create a different workflow and really focus on a few elements to create a track. And 3 voices is more than enough. With a great sequencer, you will have a lot of fun. It's super small, you can really have everything at your fingertip. I like to touch everything, and of course one thing that I recommend is play with modulation source, because it creates stuff that otherwise you won't get easily with your hand. And so the Mimetic Digitalis, that is something that I didn't use so much lately, it came really handy right now. And I actually like that this basically is a system based on mostly three brands: Cubic, Knobula and Noise Engineering. I think they really works well together and gives you a very strong foundation to create a track. Alright, hope this was interesting. And I'll see you next time.